Hello. Today we are going to be talking about vertex form. Please feel free to watch this video any number of times or pause it so that you can write down the notes. Vertex form of a parabola moves a parabola around the coordinate plane by adding and subtracting numbers. The general form for vertex form in the equation is y equals a parentheses x minus h quantity squared plus k, where a, h, and k are just numbers. Now we learned from the previous unit that a determines the width and the opening of the parabola, meaning if it's wide or narrow, or if it is opening up or opening down. The h is the number of units moved left or right, and the k is the number of units moved up or down. And in the next couple of slides we'll find out how to determine the h and the k. So basically, to move a parabola up or down, what you're going to want to do is to go up, add the number of units you would like to move the vertex up from the origin to the outside of the x squared. To move a parabola down, you subtract the number of units you would like to move the vertex down from the origin from the outside of the x squared. And we'll do an example to help illustrate what we mean by this. Let's change the equation of y equals x squared to move the vertex up 5 units. Well, again, to move the vertex up, when we are going up, we're going to add. So we're going to add 5, and so we're going to write y equals x squared, and then we add 5 to the outside of this, plus 5. And then you're done. This will move up 5 units from the origin. If we wanted to change the equation of y equals x squared to move the vertex down 3 units, well, down implies subtracting, and we're going to subtract 3 from the outside of the equation. And this will move it down. So this equation translates the parabola down 3 units. When I talk about translate, I mean that you're going to take the parabola and move down 1, 2, 3 units, and then draw a U shape, because that's what a parabola looks like. When I'm talking about moving up, that means I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and draw my parabola up there. Now, let's talk about moving left and right. Left and right is slightly different. It's kind of like what the opposite of what you think it should be. To move a parabola left, you're going to add the number of units you would like to move the vertex left from the origin to the inside of the x squared, using parentheses. If you would like to move the parabola right, you subtract the number of units you would like to move the vertex right from the origin in the inside of the x squared, using parentheses. Again, let's do an example of this so I can illustrate what I mean. If we would like to change this equation, y equals x squared, to move the vertex right 5 units, well, we're going to say y equals, and then we're going to use parentheses, and we're going to say x, and because we're going right, that implies that we're going to subtract the 5. So it's going to say x minus 5 in parentheses, and then you add your squared that was originally in the problem. So this is going to go right. What I mean by that graphically is that we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units right, and our parabola ends up there. To change the equation y equals x squared to move the vertex left 3 units, well, left 3 units implies that you're going to add. We're going to add the 3, so we're going to write y equals, and then in parentheses, we're going to say x, and then plus 3, because we're adding 3, and then throw your squared on there from the original problem. And again, graphically, what that means is that I'm going to go left 1, 2, 3 units, and my parabola, which is a U shape, ends up left 3 units. Finally, the last thing that we're going to do is write the equation of vertex form from a table and a graph. So if I gave you the table of a parabola, we could graph these points, and you can see, well, if the x is -1 and 8, we would go over -1 and 8 units up. We could go 0, 3. 0, 3 is 0 units over left and right, up 3. 1, 0. 1, 0 is right there. 2, -1. 2, -1, that's that point. 3, 0 is right there. 4, 3 is right there. And 5, 8 is right there. So as you can see, when we connect these points, we make a parabola. Now we want to write the equation of this parabola in vertex form. Well, as you can see, this vertex right here, that's the vertex, it's the minimum point, is located at 2, -1. So that means we had to go to the right 2 and down 1 unit. So remember, if I want to go to the right, I'm going to write, and then I have to subtract 2, because I moved to the right 2, and then square it. Furthermore, since I want to move down 1, that means I'm going to subtract 1, but on the outside. Now I'm not done yet, because if you recall, vertex form had this a value in front, deciding whether it's going to be opening up or down, or wide or narrow. So what we're going to do now is try and solve to figure out what the a value is. When you solve to figure out what the a value is, you take any other point on your table. Let's choose the point 0, 3. This is my x, and 3 is my y. So I can plug in 3 for y, leave the a because that's what we're going to figure out. X is going to be 0. And so now we have an equation that we can solve. Well, order of operations says that we do inside of parentheses first. 0 minus 2 is -2. And then order of operations says that we do exponents next, so we square the -2, and when we square -2 we get +4. And then this is an equation that we can solve. In order to solve for a, we add 1 to both sides. So we get 4 equals a times 4, and then to undo the multiplication here we divide by 4 on both sides. So we see that our a value is 1. Therefore, we would rewrite this equation, y equals 1 times x minus 2, quantity squared, minus 1. So feel free to watch this video over if you need extra help, and ask questions in class. Thanks.